we saw lots of it, but can you explain what you specifically what you're aiming at and how pleased you were with what they delivered?
Yeah, look, we'd seen the last 2 weeks' performances, and they were very dangerous in attack. They scored a lot of points, but we've got a very good defence. It's really well coached by Steve Tandy, and we've been at a high level now for the last couple of seasons in defence. We knew this team would threaten us. I think they have a couple major threats, Australia, which is the ability to play short balls either side of the ruck, gives them very good go forward. It caught us offside a couple of times. And also some special plays that they bring out. One obviously led to try late on in the game. So we had to be really alert in defence and physical. I think at times we were. It wasn't perfect by any means, but felt that the composure we had in defence close to our line was on show today. The effort is always on show. So yeah, if we can limit them to obviously not get over 10 or 20 points and get your attack into gear, then we know we've got multiple threats. And on a dry day, we managed to get the ball into those threats' hands. And I felt our fitness as well in the second half. Sometimes with the guys from the bench, but also the starters, we outworked the defence, and that created opportunities for us.
Gregor, were you concerned at all that you just got 7 points out of the first half, given the amount of pressure, possession, territory you've had?
Yeah, yes and no. I think depends if you're glass half full, glass half empty. I think there were opportunities there, and it wasn't so much the phases we had in their 22. We didn't really get that until the last 10 minutes of the first half. It was those opportunities, maybe of line out when it looked like Hugh Jones was through a gap. There was another pass that didn't go to hand when we could have had line breaks. Those were, while they were frustrating, it was also a message to say to the players that those opportunities will still be there. We just need to execute them better. And there was one period when we went through a few phases in the first half that we felt we could have done better there. But no, you never know how a game's going to turn out. You need that possession in the second half to still follow through in the opportunities, and we got that possession. I think that middle part of the second half is when we played our best rugby. We were working hard off the ball. We were more accurate, very accurate in contact. That was creating opportunities for us.
Have you seen enough this autumn, Gregor, to suggest that Scotland could be contenders?
I'm not going to answer that question. You think I'm going to answer that question? Look, I, to be honest, the South Africa game was still the best performance, and the physicality, the effort, and responding to obviously losing a man for 20 minutes like that was up there with England at Twickenham last year. Today was slightly off, but it didn't knock us off our stride in that second half. It meant that we, even though we hadn't been a great first half, we still produced what was needed in the second half. So that was pleasing, but there's more to come from this group.
Is there? I mean, certainly against South Africa, there seemed to be a ratcheting up of Scotland's physicality. You might say it was always been there, but it seemed to be go up a level. That must be something, because we know it's a war of attrition, the Six Nations. To have that physicality going in there must be pleasing.
Yeah, and I think we showed that a lot of times today. It's a different type of attack you're up against with the Wallabies than South Africa. But we stopped their mauls. I think they scored at least 3 tries last week in the maul against Wales. We were very effective with our maul defence, like we had been against South Africa. So that's important. And that last image or last sequence of play is important to us too. That the game was won, it was into 80 minutes, but we still defended our try line with everything. So that was great to see.
Jamie Ritchie looked really pumped up out there, almost angry at times. Was that his best game in a Scotland jersey for quite some time?
Well, he played well, I know that. I think he was really smart around his decisions around the ruck. Got a very important jackal for us, but a couple other times listened to the referee. Thought he got a lot of involvement in attack, so that was great to see. Although the back row were physical, and Josh's impact was excellent. Really good. Not just with the try. Obviously, the try was excellent, but his speed off the line in defence just kept the Wallabies on the back foot in that last quarter.
Yeah, I was going to say, for Josh's finish, I mean, to say that he still had a wee bit to do is maybe not doing him justice. A hell of a finish.
Yeah, when he got the ball, I was hoping he would take on the defence on the outside. I just thought maybe they don't realise he's one of our quickest players, and it, almost the exact copy of his try against Italy, I think it was. Just that step. He is one of our quickest players, and he's in the back row. And he's been really good for us when he's ever played. He played in the summer, number 8, called the lineouts, been on the bench a few times and made an impact. And today was a really good opportunity for him with dry conditions, with the defence starting to fatigue a little bit, and yeah, he made the winning difference with that try.
Just on Jamie Ritchie again, Gregor, sorry. If Jack Dempsey had been fit, he might not have started. It was as if he was playing as if he had a point to prove today, do you think?
You'd have to ask him. I think he's very proud Scotsman that has represented his country a number of times and played in some key victories. He actually started both our victories in the Six Nations this year, so he's worked hard to get back into the team. We've got a very competitive back row. We're missing Jack Dempsey and Andy Christie, but the starting back row did well today, and Josh obviously did very well off the bench. And he's handled that disappointment of not being involved so well. Although at the end of last season with Edinburgh was his best rugby of the season, and I think I mentioned in the build-up to the game about how important he'll be aerially, and he was. He got the ball back a couple of times. On one occasion, we were unlucky that he won it back, and Australia won the scraps, but that was important to us, both on the ground and then in the air, and he made good decisions in attack.
Gregor, can I just ask about Sione and obviously how he's slipped into the captain's seat, seems very at ease there, and how he's maturing in that role?
Yeah, he's been outstanding. Yesterday in the change rooms, he's spoken to the players about the game more on a mindset and emotional level. He obviously thought a long while about what he was going to say, and it was excellent. He's been a leader that's thrived with that responsibility. We saw it beforehand. We saw it with Glasgow, and when he's had opportunities to captain our team in the past. And while he maybe was more of a distributor today, he worked hard in defence, a couple of crucial moments to try, and also winning not that we were expecting a high ball in the 22, which stopped Australian attack. Yeah, he was great. It's been excellent. You just always hope that players get through campaigns without being injured. They get the opportunity to, if they're captain, to go through a campaign, and he's had that this year.
And do you think he might be a viable option for what's to come next summer in that regard?
Well, that'll be for you guys to decide. I know we love our players and we believe in them, and they've shown over this campaign, including the South Africa game, but obviously today as well, that they're up there with the best players in the Northern Hemisphere.
What was your view, Gregor, on that? When he was checked by Tom Wright?
Yeah, I've just been chatting to Joe Schmidt, so he's probably influenced me on this. But it's an interesting one. Tom Wright held his ground, so you could say that's okay. Did he brace himself, or did he put his shoulder in? I think if it hadn't been play on, it would have been quite a lot of things together. Probably yellow card, penalty try. So Ben's asking, did I do the right thing chipping? I said, yeah, I thought there was a bit of a gap between you chipping and you colliding. So yeah, let's say the ref got that one right and move on.
He got the crowd kind of fired up, and I think he got the players fired up as well, because that kind of spell was just when he came into Rona.
Maybe I think perhaps the line break that got us there got the crowd energised as well. I think there was a couple of moments where we got through the line, and you could sense that something was going to happen. You then have to keep that going, that momentum going, and we did.
You've obviously changed your captain a couple of times over the last couple of years. Do you expect Sione to continue as a captain right through 2025?
We'll see. If he's fit, he's obviously done very well over this period. And captaincy is just one part of leadership. We have 2 vice captains on the field. We have a leadership group that meets regularly with me, that includes also Grant Gilchrist and then Jamie Ritchie, and you've got defence, attack leaders. So while Siona's done a really good job, there's a few leaders in that squad that are helping him make the right decisions on the field. And I really, today, we kept our confidence when things weren't maybe always clicking for us. But I refer back to that South Africa game, that period of that 20 minutes, that needed on-field leadership to get through that, and they did really well that day.
Gregor, just to confirm, please, was that the team with the most caps you've ever selected, but not necessarily a Scottish record? Or?
But you'll know more than me. I was saying to our analyst during the week, I believe that must be our highest cap selection, and we then got the calculator out and we're typing it in. So it was close to 700, and obviously another 15 caps today or more. So yeah, I can't remember a time when we've had up around 700 caps. And then look, the squad has been settled. The give or take a few injuries, so players are playing together as well. So it's not just their individual cap numbers. Got another player of 50 caps today. Finn got to 82 caps today. Like there's a lot of experience around. But it's also the fact they're playing together and they're sharing these experiences, which will be really important for the future.
Joe Smith calls that the sweet spot in terms of caps and age. Are you ready? Do you think this team is ready now to kick on?
Yeah, and it has been for a while. I think the frustrations of the Six Nations to be in every game and potentially win every game and not come through with more than 2 wins, right? That shows that they were ready back then. And I believe that experience has made us better too. Certainly a few things that we learned from that campaign, off-field, on-field. It might be something tactically, technically, but also how we have to grow as a group mentally. I think we've seen that in this campaign. And we've got to grow again next campaign, which is obviously Six Nations.